I am working on a 2002 Honda Shadow and rebuilding the shocks. However, I assembled one of the shocks incorrectly and I forgot to install the lower bushing. So now I have to figure out a way to remove those seals because the lower bushing will not push past the seals. The lower bushing is also used to remove the upper seal, the upper bushing, and the upper oil seal. So without that lower bushing, now I can't remove those items. So after a little bit of trial and error, I decided the best thing to do was to put a wooden dowel down inside the shock tube. And this one happens to be from the rod used in your closet to hang your clothes on, but any dowel would suffice. It is slightly below the oil seal, so I could get some leverage and pry upwards. And I'd been working on this for a while. You'll see here in a minute. But anyway, I worked slowly around with this door panel tool with a little bit of an angle to it, and worked around slowly to pry that oil seal out. Now with the oil seal out, you can see I'd actually used a screwdriver in there before and really messed it up. And there's a metal ring. In my case, there's a metal ring here. And by using the screwdriver, I nicked the metal ring. And now I'm going to have to sand that metal ring and clean it up. Right there, I'm showing how I used the screwdriver before, and now I've scarred that metal ring. So I'll take some sandpaper to it and take off the high spots. So here I nicked the inside of the tube when I was pulling the rubber ring out, or the oil ring, and I nicked it fortunately in the spot where the dirt seal goes, and it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'll sand it down a little bit, take the burr off, and put the dirt seal back in. Now that I have the rubber seal removed, or the oil seal removed, I have to cut the dowel shorter so that I can get below the upper bushing. So that's what I'm going to do now. Took off a little bit over an inch to make sure I was down below that upper bushing. And if you cut too much off, you can just stick something down in there to lift it up a little bit. I had this pry tool in my toolbox, and because of that curved rocker there, I'm able to get some pretty good leverage on it. I knew the door panel tool wasn't going to work. It wasn't strong enough for one, and it just didn't have the right angle. So I'm working my way around. There's a split in that ring, that upper bushing, and so I could see where the split is. If I pried there first, I could move it up. I pried on either side of that split, moved it up a little bit, and then worked my way around further. And I just continued slowly around. Be very careful of slipping like that. Also using the wooden dowel made certain that I wouldn't nick the inside of the shock tube. With, if I'd used something steel in there, I could have scratched the inside of the shock tube. And it's just about to come out. Actually was easier than I thought it was going to be once I came up with the wood dowel idea. I knew I needed the leverage, but it was the idea of putting the wood dowel in there that helped me figure out how to get the leverage down inside the tube. So remember, don't forget to put your lower bushing on so you don't have the same problem that I had.